We really appreciate all of our patrons. We love that you help keep us financially stable and that we are now able to kind of do more because we have more patrons. For as little as $5 a month, you can help keep the lights on, literally and metaphorically, here at Malcontent News, and you can keep us paid advertiser free. Jennifer, are we ready to jump into the next segment?
Yeah. Are we going to do Black History Month first?
Jennifer, I have Black History at the end of the Insurrection update because that buys us a little time to find out about the poll.
Cool. Thank you.
So yes, I have not forgotten about it. I have show notes. Okay. And we talked about but that was the one segment we didn't talk about when we were syncing up on things here. It's Insurrection update. Jennifer and I's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
And with that, Jennifer, because I did the last story, I'll let you go first. We're going to have to speed round this puppy here.
All right. Are we ready? Let's go.
We're ready. Go.
Keeper leader Jessica Watkins claims coordination with Trump administration officials. In her legal defense for her actions during the January 16, 2021 insurrection, accused domestic terrorist Jessica Watkins claims she was given a VIP pass to the pro-Trump Save America rally, met with Secret Service agents providing security for legislators and others, and was there in a collaborative security capacity with government officials. On January 5th and 6th, Ms. Watkins was present, not as an insurrectionist, but to provide security to the speakers at the rally, to provide escort for the legislators and others to march to the Capitol as directed by then President Trump, and to safely escort protesters away from the Capitol to their vehicles and cars at the conclusion of the protest. The court filing said on Saturday, quote, she was given a VIP pass to the rally. She met with Secret Service agents. She was within 50 feet of the stage during the rally to provide security for the speakers. At the time the Capitol was breached, she was still at the site of the initial rally where she had provided security, end quote. The U.S. Secret Service, in response to Watkins' claims in the Saturday filing, denied that private citizens were working with the Secret Service to provide security on January 6th, which is kind of, whatever, they're going to deny whatever, but this kind of segues into this idea that, hey, this is a lot deeper than we thought.
So, Jennifer, one of the things wait a minute. I was just going to say, I haven't seen comments on Facebook for a while. So I was like, I think Facebook might have caught up with the Led Zeppelin clip, but I just literally saw some Facebook comments. So I guess either people are citing back in, but I am under the impression that Facebook knocked us off the air for the Led Zeppelin clip. We'll, of course, have to file against it. And a week later, they'll say, sorry. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, fuck you.
This is written. This is written.
Zuck.
All right, let's go here. Joseph Fisher of North Cornwall Township is spending the night at the Gray Bar Hotel in Dauphin County for his alleged involvement in the insurrection. He has been charged with obstruction of law enforcement during civil disorder, knowingly enter or remaining in a restricted building or grounds without lawful authority, violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds, and obstruction of justice in Congress. Fisher has been suspended. Jennifer, you're going to find this one interesting.
Power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
They caused an explosion.
Is this?
He was suspended without pay. I actually don't know why that clip just played. That's totally weird. He's been suspended without pay. Pending the criminal investigation, officers said Fisher was bragging on his Facebook profile. This is how you know Antifa didn't do this. About storming the federal building under the username SV Spindrift. He published a video, of course he did, featuring him at the front of a group of rioters pushing police officers. Capitol Police body cam show Fisher involved in assaulting police officers inside the Capitol while ironically wearing a thin blue line flag on his chest.
These are like the dumbest attempted revolutionaries ever. And again, this just provides more evidence that this was not Antifa, because Antifa is not this fucking stupid. Excuse me.
You're not the same. I'm an American. You're a sick asshole.
All right, Jennifer, you can do the next one.
Okay. So, U.S. investigating ties between Roger Stone, Alex Jones, and Capitol rioters. Big shocker, right? The Department of Justice does state that their interest in Jones and Stones is more about establishing a timeline. Alex Jones, on the day after the insurrection, claims he was invited to the White House, met with Trump on January 3rd, 2021, and was told he would lead the march to the Capitol. He expressed the same story on InfoWars. Stone was defended by a group of Oath Keepers on the morning of the 6th outside of his hotel, which conveniently kind of lines up with our first story. And some of those same people are now arrested for their involvement in the insurrection. The Department of Justice confirmed the investigation and said it could take, quote, some time to unravel the connections.
Oh my goodness. Of course it'll take some time to unravel the connections. Yeah, Alex Jones, we actually played that video clip. We may have played it as the insurrection was going on because we were jumping from TV station to TV station. And I do truly appreciate the mainstream media stations realizing the enormity of that situation. They could have done a bunch of DMCA takedowns afterwards. And they left the independent journalism community completely alone afterwards. We were literally jumping from AT&T TV channels and kind of flipping through them.
Yeah.
But Alex Jones was on there going, hey, I'm leading this thing. And Donald Trump says he's going to be right there with me. We also know that some of the people, as you said, that were with Roger Stone were with him on the morning of the 6th, acting as his bodyguards. And then they stormed the Capitol, which, of course, Roger Stone was like, well, I never left my hotel room. And then somebody was like, but we saw you outside. And, well, I only left my hotel room for that. And then I stay in my hotel room all day.
Of course you did, Roger.
Yeah, whatever. All right, I'm going to do you a solid.
You're gonna
because I know you want this story. So your favorite person, you can have it.
Okay. So we all know that I just love Lauren Boebert. And before we start this, I just want to clarify that she is a GED recipient. We do talk about it in this, but there's nothing wrong with getting a GED. I got a GED at 34, and I am now on my way to getting a doctoral degree, so GEDs are fine. But here we go. Lauren Boebert doesn't understand the Constitution. Well, that really shouldn't come as a shock, as the recent GED recipient should have spent more time studying civics, as should a lot of other Americans. A bipartisan bill has been introduced in the House to prevent members from being armed in the chamber. Boebert isn't having it, though, saying in a tweet, quote, protecting and defending the Constitution doesn't mean trying to rewrite the parts you don't like, end quote. The well of irony is deep and cold because there are these things called amendments, 27 of them, in fact, where the Constitution was rewritten to change parts people didn't like. But wait, there is more. Boebert herself co-sponsored a bill calling for a constitutional amendment creating term limits for congressional leaders. Way to go, my favorite person, Lauren Boebert.
And we're not slagging out people that got their GED. This is a person who is creating laws. She is in the legislative branch and she doesn't even understand the document that she is talking about. You can have a GED. If you paid more attention in the civics section, you would know more about civics. I've heard people mumbling, Jennifer, that there should be a requirement for senators and Congress critters to take the citizenship test.
They should.
Because you can't convince me that Madam Boebert would be able to pass it.
No, and I think most people, when we actually, I TA'd a class that was like, Peoples of the United States, where we actually made the students take the civics test and they had to study for it. And it was really difficult for a lot of them, even, students that had been raised in the United States their entire life. And actually, it was interesting to me because the students that were international students understood it and actually did better on it than the students that were raised in the U.S.
Of course they did, because you're forced to study it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Mrs. Malcontent went through this on her path to U.S. citizenship, and I was helping her study for the tests. And there was stuff in there that I was like, I'm a little rusty on some of this stuff. So, Jennifer, we have a story about love American style here. The couple that insurrects together can't stay together, certainly when they're both locked up. Keeping it all in the family, Sandra Parker, 60, and her husband, Benny Parker, 70, members of the Oath Keepers, were arrested and are now facing several charges. Both were released without bail because white privilege. Why not?
Yeah.
The Parkers and several other people in similar camouflage and military combat gear were captured on video on January 6th, plowing through the crowd outside the Capitol, following essentially military protocol for moving through a crowd. According to the criminal complaint, Bernie had been coordinating with the Oath Keepers all the way back to November 11.
So here's my question, though. Are they ever going to get to go back to the Liberal Freedom Palace?
That was just like some of the best. That was like some of the best things with the arrests. The arrest stories that were coming out.
The arrest so much. Do you remember the one where the guy was like, turns to his girlfriend and was like, I couldn't imagine doing this revolution with anyone but you. And it was like this super romantic moment. Yeah.
It's love American style.
Yeah.